Votto and the Reds are in town for a three-game set, beginning now on CIN HD. Welcome to the ballpark. Sure is good to be back home. The Reds are in for three. They're the defending Central champions, falling on some hard times. A special night at the ballpark. Coast Guard choppers, a flyover, salutes, and a moment of silence. Those Americans killed on August 6th in the helicopter crash. We honor them and all of them who've given their lives for our freedom tonight. Proud to represent the Marines, and you're proud to represent the Navy SEALs.
Yes, and for all the extraordinary sacrifices that these young gentlemen and women do, we thank them very much. And all the guys wore these hats during batting practice today in a tribute to the guys that lost their lives over there.
And you might have noticed behind us all the other branches of the military represented as well. So let's talk some baseball. Chien-Ming Wang, the young man from Taiwan, coming off his best start, obviously, as a net. He was nails with that sinker at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, 6 innings, faced 3 over the minimum. He talked to the Cubs hitters the next day. They said the sinker was sinking. It was heavy. He had the bowling ball turbo sinker going. So we liked what we saw at Wrigley Field. Hopefully with some extra days rest, Chien-Ming Wang can build on that today. Look for some more change-ups tonight out of Wang.
And the Nats are back home now with Wang on the mound tonight. You've been between the lines, been on the road for quite a while. Seems like forever since the Nats even played a ball game. How much does it mean to get back in your own yard?
It means a lot to be back in your own yard for sure, but I think the 2 days off means more than that. These guys hit the wall, and you could tell. So they got a rain out in Philadelphia, a day off yesterday. They will be energized tonight.
Over the years, there's been this Cincinnati-Washington connection. Johnny Gomes, of course, with the Reds into this season, 09 and 10. He hit 38 homers, drove in 137 runs for them, and Lance Nix, 15 homers, 46 runs. In 09, also a former Red. Nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by your local Lexus dealers. The Lexus Golden Sales event now through September 6th at your Lexus dealer. Beautiful night in our nation's capital. It's going to be in the mid-80s. for first pitch, and before that, the lineup cards being exchanged. Davey Johnson out there with Dusty Baker. Davey, of course, used to manage the Reds. Ray Knight took over for him. We have military representation around the batter's box as well with the umpires tonight, led by the crew chief, Ed Rapuano. And it looks like we're waiting for the Nats to take the field for some first pitch. We have a Marine on the mound, so the first pitch is in very good hands. You know, in FP, I think it's important. Everybody read about the tragic helicopter accident on August 6th, but there should not be one day that goes by that we don't think about those who are over there defending our freedom and those who've lost their lives in doing so. Absolutely.
Well said. These people, they've made a positive difference in our world, period. They make incredible sacrifices for the good of our nation and our world. That was the deadliest single loss for American forces in the decade-old war against the Taliban. So I think it's great that the Nationals are doing this tonight. It's unfortunate they couldn't wear the hats during the game. They tried, and Major League Baseball said no, but they wore them during batting practice today. We'll be wearing them throughout the broadcast tonight. You and I have our Armed Forces hats on, and it's just a special tribute to these guys, and we just like to thank them for all they do.
Chien-Ming Wang from Taiwan shaking the hands of a U.S. Marine who's about to throw out the first pitch. Visit train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. So we're going to have 84 degrees. Look at that wonderful low humidity at 43%. And as the military personnel leaves the field, here come the Cincinnati Reds. Number 2 in the league in runs, number 5 in batting average, and Jay Bruce is on a tear right now. Bruce is 5th in the league in RBIs with 78. He has 51 extra base hits on the year. And that threesome in the middle, Votto, Phillips, and Bruce all made the All-Star team this year. So the Reds are all about offense. How well do they catch the ball? Pretty well. FP will tell you about their defense in the bottom of the inning. And we'll talk about their pitching a little bit later. But right now it's Chien-Ming Wang as the Cincinnati hitters get a look at him in person for the very first time.
Yeah, Chien-Ming Wang with an extra day's rest last time against the Cubs through a gem. 6 innings, faced just 3 batters over the minimum, gave up no runs, just 1 hit, walked 2, and struck out 1. Fastball, slider, change, split from Wang. We saw, what, about 85% sinkers last time, and it was good. Going to be throwing some change-ups to go with it tonight.
Yeah, you better throw some change-ups and change speeds to the Cincinnati ball club with all the offense they have.
Check out the Nats defense behind Chien-Ming Wang tonight. Nick Sankeal and Worth in the outfield. Desmond and Zimmerman on the left side. Espinoza and Morse on the right side. And putting down that sign for the sinker, Wilson Ramos. I just think when Chien-Ming Wang is right, it's all sinkers all the time. Well, keep an eye on Lance Nix in left field. I talked to him after the last game in Philadelphia. Got a lot of action in left field. That Achilles tendon has been barking a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on him and his mobility in left field tonight.
Alfonso Marquez, a 12-year veteran, has the plate tonight. Ed Hickox and a 21-year veteran, Ed Rapuano, the crew chief, on the bases. And then over at third base, Angel Campos. The Cincinnati Reds are hitting .258. They have 2 more wins than the Nats, the same number of losses, and they're a full 11.5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers in the Central. Not making a great showing at the moment. They've had a hard time winning close ball games, and here we go at 7:08 with strike 1. Drew Stubbs is the leadoff man. Strikes out a lot, 158 times this year, but he's hit 15 homers and driven in 40. Who would have ever thought that a leadoff man would lead the major leagues in strikeouts? He has 12 strikeouts more than Adam Dunn, who leads the American League. But this guy gets on base and he scores runs, second most in the league, thanks to the big boppers behind him. And Wang throws it by him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. By the way, the Reds have lost their last 5 road series. Veteran shortstop Edgar Renteria, an important guy to the Giants last year, is their number 2 hitter in front of Votto. Outfield slightly bunched toward the gaps, pretty much straight away, as the shade overtakes the ball field here. And Wang misses inside, 2-2.
Yeah, pretty good sinker right there. Good late movement from Wang. You notice the 2-strike pause up top.
Nats coming off a 4-5 road trip. They've won 4 of their last 5 in these friendly confines. And a ball ripped into right field for Stubbs, who adds to his batting average of .252. I bet the Reds are watching that swing and wondering, why doesn't he do that more? Ryan Zimmerman this month hitting for high average and slugging. The hitting streak came to an end on the road trip. There's the Reds. 5 consecutive road series lost. And the Nats, third best in the league since the end of May at home. That's outstanding. So here's Renteria, who's hitting .284 since the All-Star break and .245 overall. Edgar just turned 36 years of age 9 days ago. Hit .276 for the Giants last year and had a big World Series with 2 homers and 7 hits. And he's always been a good clutch RBI man.
I have a stat, Bob, on Renteria that I know you don't have.
Can't wait to hear it.
It's said in the notes today.
Well, he'll pop up this one, and Zimmerman's under it.
Well, he didn't give us too much time to talk about him, but he will never buy a dinner for the rest of his life in San Francisco.
I kind of knew that.
The big home run off Cliff Lee in Game 5 that clinched it for the Giants. One of the biggest swings of the bat ever in San Francisco Giants history, and he will forever be a hero in the Bay Area.
He had 2 homers and drove in 6 in the World Series. That was kind of interesting. It made everybody forget the 1-for-16 he went in the LCS. On the biggest stage, that's what people remember. And here's Joey Votto, second-time All-Star this year. He's 6th in the league in hitting at .318, and he leads all National League on-base guys. With the runner going, he fouls it with an on-base percentage of .430. You and I were chatting just briefly before we went on. Who's going to be the MVP this year? Is there a clear-cut guy out there? Is it somebody from the Phillies with the best record? Is it Prince Fielder from the Brewers who are playing so well? Or somebody else might jump up and surprise us? And is Joey Votto out of it because the Reds might be out of it?
I think you win that award in September.
Counts even, 1-1.
Whoever plays the best down the stretch in the most meaningful games, that's how you usually separate yourself in that race.
Yeah. And a lot of times the argument ensues, can you be an MVP, most valuable player in the league, for a team that's not contending for a championship? And right now the Reds aren't. But Joey's got some great numbers. Last year the Reds won 2 out of 3 here and beat the Nationals 4 out of 7 overall. These 2 ball clubs have had some battles since '06. Each have won 17. And Joey Votto's career number, still a relatively new career. Didn't become a full-time player till '08. But this Cincinnati-Washington thing, of course, goes back to Jim Bowden being the GM here. And then that trade at the All-Star break in '06 that brought Austin Kearns and Felipe Lopez here, sending Billy Bray and Gary Majeski over to the Reds. These 2 clubs, for some reason, have done a lot of wheeling and dealing over the years, including Johnny Gomes this year. Votto also leads the league in walks with 85. And Stubbs a good base runner, 28 of 35 stolen. He is 5th in the league in that category. Two target inside and a step off by Wong. Joey Votto, by the way, does lead the Reds, bouncing into 14 double plays. The guy behind him, Brandon Phillips, 13. So they start the runner, pitch up and away. Ramos guns it and safe. Drew Stubbs gets in there under a quick tag by Espinosa.
Yeah, Ramos got a good pitch to throw on, almost a modified pitch out right there from Chen-Ming Wong. He was able to clear himself from Votto very easily. You see the jump from Stubbs, and the throw beat him. And bang, bang at second base. And a pretty good throw by Wilson Ramos. Got a good pitch. And you see the tag from Espinosa. Tough to tell from that angle.
It's an amazing replay. We saw that bag pop up just as his foot hit it. That's on the inside corner, are close, and the Nats don't get the call. So Votto walks for a league-leading 86th time. Watch the bag come up when his foot hits it.
Almost at the same time.
Wow. Well, that's Ed Rapuano, 21 years watching plays like that, making that call. Here's another Red who made the All-Star team this year for the second time, Brandon Phillips. Into right. Over to his left with a long run. Worth sliding. Holds on to it. Stubbs tags and goes to third with 2 outs.
Yeah, pretty good play by Jason Worth. Went a long way for this ball. Watch the 2 hands right there. That's what I like at the end of that. A little sliding, dive, and grab using both hands. Kind of watching it into the glove. Now watch how far he goes to this baseball. A little shank pop up down the right field line by Phillips. Worth going a long way for that. Gets to his feet quickly, gets the ball back in. Nice play.
2 outs now with a dangerous RBI man. 24-year-old Jay Bruce. Bruce at 274. Only 4 players in the league, Howard, Kemp, Fielder, and Tulowitzki, have more RBIs.
You got a base open right here, although it's second base, and you have to be careful with Bruce. He's on fire. Very streaky hitter. 11 for his last 25, 5 home runs, and 15 RBI in the last home stream.
Wow. This ball slicing toward the seats and unreachable.
You talk to Cincinnati people, and he's just on one of those hot streaks. Hit a 3-run home run for the Reds in Sunday's 7-3 loss against the Pods. His 26 home runs this year surpassed the 25 he hit last year in the 78 stakes, the 78 RBI career high.
Yeah, 58 2 years ago, 70 last year. And of course, he broke in with a bang back in 07. 3 for 3 in his first major league ball game. Then in 08, he was number 4 in the Rookie of the Year voting. And a bouncer, base hit, Reds have the lead. So catcher Ramon Hernandez, a right-handed hitter, on deck. And Wong gave something Bruce could pull. RBI number 79.
Last outing for Chien-Ming Wong. Of his 18 outs, 12 were on the ground. He gets his first ground ball of the night right here. Just finds a hole. When you're hot, like Jay Bruce is, you find the holes. So that's 12 for his last 26. Add another RBI to it. That's 16 RBIs. That is some kind of hot streak. 12 for 26, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs.
There are 2 hitters in the lineup tonight who have seen Wong for a total of 9 big league at-bats. This is one of them, and Hernandez hits it off the glove of Worth. Votto scores. Ending up at third is Bruce, and the Reds have a crooked number in the first inning.
Well, the first inning in 3 of the 4 Chien-Ming Wong starts have not been good. I think a big reason he cruised in Chicago last time at Wrigley Field is he had a 1-2-3 first. Remember his first start, there was 4 in the first inning. His second start, there was 2 in the first inning. And 2 and counting tonight.
And Chicago, 2 ground balls to short, routine fly ball to center. And he went on from there. Now he's going to face at least 7 Cincinnati hitters. Yonder Alfonso is next, and the breaking ball's inside. 24-year-old infielder from Havana. Moved to the United States with his family at the age of 10, and that was drafted in the first round by the Reds just 3 years ago.
I think if you run down there and ask Jason Worth, he'll tell you he should have caught that ball.
This one will bring in Lance Nix. Long inning for Wong. 3 hits, a walk. The Reds scored 2. in the league in runs. And here's the lineup, pretty much the same as it's been lately. Ian Desmond has always hit Cincinnati pitching well. He's also 5 for 11 in his last 3 ball games. So Desmond hoping to supply some pop in that number 7 spot tonight ahead of Ramos. And the Nats will be facing Mike Leake, the 23-year-old right-hander, right from Arizona State, to the big leagues last year. He did make a couple of appearances, one start at AAA Louisville back in May, and really the first time he's ever competed at the minor league level.
Last time out against the Rockies, he earned the 3-2 win, gave up 2 runs on 11 hits over 7 1/3, struck out 5 and walked 1.
And Keogh goes up swinging. That's off the end of his bat, and it's falling, and nobody's going to get there. Looked like Renteria gave up on it, and then neither of the outfielders, Alonso or Stubbs playing deep, could get there.
The 11 hits Leake gave up his last outing against the Rockies, a career high. And this ball was in the air for a long time. You look at the late jump by Alonso in left field. He's looking for help all the way. I don't know if he didn't see that ball off the bat or what, but he stood there for a good 3 count before he even moved.
Next up will be Danny Espinosa. So I guess you could say Leake really scattered those hits. Hardly any starter stays in a ball game long enough anymore to give up 11 hits.
He's got a good sinker, 2-seam fastball, 89, a slider, a cutter, a curveball, and a change to go with it. You talk to Cincinnati people, and they say he is a competitor. Moves the ball around a lot, works in and out.
Espinosa with a fly ball to Alonso. Reds are 3rd in the league in team defense right now.
Let's check out that defense right now, Bob. Alonso, Stubbs, and Bruce in the outfield. Renteria and Frazier on the left side, Phillips and Votto on the right side, and Ramon Hernandez in the squad.
Brandon Phillips is a Gold Glover. Made the All-Star team again this year, as I said. He won Gold Gloves in 08 and last year at second base. There's Ryan Zimmerman, 2 for 4 career against Mike Leake, and batting a healthy .293. Ryan's on base average is creeping up toward the .370 mark. Starting to mix in some selectivity at the plate with some good swings. What do you think? A home run that makes it onto Waveland Avenue in Chicago maybe goes 2/3 of the way up the blue seats here? Maybe makes it to the plaza?
And Carp, I know you didn't see it because you went home to spend some time with your family, but there was an amazing video on YouTube that showed the little kid across the street in Waveland run after the ball from Zimmerman, go into somebody's front porch, grab the baseball, come back, switch out the ball for a ball he had in batting practice. He threw the ball over the bleachers, and you know how you knew it was real is because you could hear the fans saying, "You almost hit Fonzie in the head."
We remarked that he almost took Alfonso Soriano out with that one.
And they had it at 420 feet. I was talking to Ryan about that. He said, "There's no way." He goes, "I got all of that."
Yeah. I'm thinking that ball Zimmerman hit in Chicago might give Johnny and Ray a reason to scramble in the Masson set out in the left field.
It might. I might hit Johnny right in the back of the coconut.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Zimmerman. Middle infielders looking at each other for who's covering. Fastball inside. And the count's 2-2. Well, Ryan is back above his career batting average of .288. He's been sustaining that for a couple of weeks now. Coming off a .307 last year. Hits it up the middle, and that is stopped by the shortstop. Safe at second is Ankiel, as Edgar Renteria flashes some pretty good range at his age. I think Ankiel might have been safe even if that ball would have been caught by Phillips.
Yeah, hit all the way for Ryan Zimmerman. Ground ball back up the middle. And how many times have we seen him do this recently? Nice play by Renteria, ranging far to his left. Just couldn't get the ball out. Got the hard part out of the way. Reached in there. Missed once, missed twice. Little backhand flip. Watch this. That's a great shot. Just gets it in his glove. And then watch where he reaches. He tries to get it out, but as you're slide and reach at the same time, sometimes that's hard. Nice play.
Yeah, sometimes everything gets trapped under your body. So here's Michael Morse with 2 men aboard And in a 2-0 game, the Nats a chance to make some early noise here. You will not believe where the first baseman is playing. Joey Votto is 40 feet off the line at first base for Michael Morse. And look at the leadoff that Ryan Zimmerman can get.
He's going to be gassed getting to first base on the ground ball to the left side.
Morse will chop that inside pitch. And the count 0-2. Hollywood Casino. Charlestown races. League leaders, action-packed table games and red-hot slots at Hollywood Casino. And the batting average race has Michael Morse 7 points behind Ryan Braun. Just one up on Matt Kemp. Not to be forgotten is Joey Votto, who walked tonight sitting at 318, right out of that list. Morse is hitting 319 in this ballpark this year. He scorches this ball, and that is beyond the reach of Jay Bruce. Ankiel coming home, heading for third. Zimmerman. Michael Morse has an RBI, and the Nets are on the board. Number 70 for Michael Morse. We're seeing some balls pretty well hit in this game so far, and some outfielders having a hard time getting some reads.
Jay Bruce took 2 steps in on this baseball, not realizing that the beast was hitting it. Michael Morse checking in early, ball right out over the plate. Back that up nice. Watch the first 2 steps. He came in and said, uh-oh, that ball's hit pretty good. Michael Morse said, thank you very much.
And look at Zimmerman, who had a great read on that from first base, right behind Rick Ankiel, who had to hold up. So it's second and third, 1 out, and Jason Worth now a chance to tie it or put the Nats immediately on top.
And Dusty Baker giving up the run. The infield is back.
Breaking ball outside. Worth has seen league 5 times. He has 3 hits and an RBI. Two of the most selective hitters in the league in the ballpark tonight with Votto and Worth. Way outside, and Ramon Hernandez saves a wild pitch.
Yeah, nice stop right there in the backhand. Ball in the dirt. Ramon Hernandez, my former teammate in Oakland 2001, still getting it done behind the plate.
Great pick.
Little backhand pick right there. You know, I always talk about going into a base hard. Did you see how Ryan Zimmerman went to third base? It made Bo Porter stop him. He already knew he had third, right?
Yeah.
That's how you go into a bag that you already know you have made. You're thinking about the next base. You make the base coach stop you. How many times have we seen a guy cruise into third base real easy, then try to turn it on and score? He was flying around the bag, and he made Bo Porter stop him. That's how you run the base.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if there's a bobble in the outfield, you tie the game if you do that.
Yep. It allows the base coach to send you.
3-0 to Worth, and that's not even close. Bases loaded. So the Reds sent 7 men to the plate. The Nats have now sent up 5. Nobody has made an out except for Danny Espinosa, and a chance for a big inning here with the former Red, Lance Nix. And Cincinnati knows all about Lance because of what he did there a couple of years ago. In only 309 at bats, he had 15 homers and drove in 46. He got put on the DL with a bulging disc in his back at the end of August that year, and that kept him from having a bigger season for Cincinnati. And Leake just blows the fastball by him. Tying run, third base, 1 out. And Nix, left field line, slicing out of play. That'll be strike 2.
And we'll keep an eye on my former manager and good friend Dusty Baker. He will move around the dugout throughout the course of a game based on how his team is performing. Very superstitious guy. So I'm sure already here in the first inning, he's probably had about 3 different seats. He tried to find one that works. You'll find him on the end of the bench sometimes, right there by the phone sometimes, top step. He'll be all over that dugout. Very superstitious man trying to find a spot that works.
Where's the toothpick?
It's somewhere around. Maybe, you know, there's been a couple of hits in a row. He threw it away. It wasn't working.
Lance Nix strikes out on an 0-2 pitch, diving down and in. Well, remember the numbers Ian Desmond has racked up against Cincinnati in his career. It'll be up to him with 2 outs.
And check out the 2-strike pitch from Leake. Just a tiny little slider, not a lot to it. That's a big at-bat early in this game.
Last year, Ian Desmond was 6 for 11 with the bases loaded. 1 for 6 career against Leake. It's always big when Ian gets ahead of the count when they feed him a breaking ball. And so for his career, 7 for 19. Broken bat, and the game is tied. And now the Nats will take the lead. Desmond delivers. And for Ian, RBIs number 33 and 34.
All right, good teams pick each other up. Lance Nix didn't get the job done. And what does Ian Desmond do? He said, I got you, partner. I'll pick you up right here. Little base hit up the middle off the end. I think he broke his bat. Sounded like it. You look at that. That's right off the end. Great shot right there. But got just enough to get it over Edgar Renteria's head for a couple of stakes. Big 2-out knock early for the Nats and Ian Desmond.
Now the Nats will send up at least 8 hitters in the bottom of the inning. And it's Wilson Ramos next. 12 hits in his last 11 games, 12 for 40. That's an even 300 mark. Good speed at second and Worth, and Jason, with no middle infielders anywhere near him, takes an ultra long lead, forcing Mike Leake to step off.
Jason Worth did a nice job of rounding second base. Drew Stubbs threw behind him and diving back to the base. If they tag out Jason Worth at second base before Michael Moore scores, that run doesn't count. So Worth did a nice job of rounding the base hard, diving back, avoiding the tag because it was close.
And Ramos hits it high in the air to right center. Under it is Jay Bruce. So both teams come out slugging. The Reds get 2, the Nats get 3 in a long first inning. Flooring at 877-241 Luna. Shop smart, shop Luna. No place like home. Click your spikes together 3 times and recite along with me. Now at the end of this homestand, the Nats will actually have one more home game than road, but it's been a while coming. The wins are much better. Look at that. The power's even. Batting average better. ERA better. They like it here.
I think it's impressive that the power numbers are even. They've played at some hitters' ballparks on the road. Nats Park plays very fair, so the fact they have 54 home runs, the same amount as they do on the road here at home,
yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
Davy Johnson's ball club 57-62. 3 with the Reds. Phillies in for the weekend. And then the surging Arizona Diamondbacks in next week for 4. And they've won 6 in a row to lead the Giants by 2.5 in the West. And right now, somebody is going to have to challenge Atlanta for the wild card. If they don't win the division in the Central or the West, those teams may not have a chance to make it. So here's the third baseman, Todd Frazier. Scott Rowland's been on the DL since the middle of July. Shoulder problem for that Gold Glove third baseman, who's also a good hitter. So 25-year-old Todd Frazier gets his shot. And a chopper to third. Zimmerman on the charge, and he scoops it, and it comes right out. You hardly ever see a ball go in his glove that does not stay there.
Yeah, pretty aggressive on this chopper. Ryan Zimmerman coming in, tries to give the old field it off the left, throw it off the right. We've seen him do that so many times this year, and he almost throws it all the way to first with his glove.
They're going to give him his 9th error of the year. That'll give Leake, who's a really good hitter, I mean really good, a chance to bunt here. Look at him. He just acts like a regulation hitter whatever he does. The guy's a .292 career hitter. That'll be 3-4 on the sack. Morse to Espinosa. Tying runs, second base, 1 out. Mike Leake has 10 hits this year, 2 RBIs, and now 9 sacrifice bunts. Here's one for you, FP. His career batting average is higher than his career batting average against as a pitcher. That's a pretty good balance. 292 to 259.
Impressive.
I know you like that number as far as how hard it is to hit a guy.
That's my favorite stat to look at when you look at pitchers, the average against. How many hits has he given up? And sometimes it could be misleading. You know, a guy that walks a lot of batters. You walk a lot of guys, then all of a sudden you get somebody out. Your batting average against will be low. We saw that with Yolis Chacin from the Rockies. Very low batting average against. I think at the time the Nats faced him, it was second lowest in the National League. But he also led the league in walks.
Top of the order, Drew Stubbs, opposite field base hit, stolen base, and a run scored first time, and a breaking ball almost got him. And the count's even 1-1. That sacrifice bunt, the first ground ball out, Wong has registered. Did get a ground ball first inning, but Jay Bruce has found a hole right side, and a bouncer this inning off the glove of Zimmerman, so he's keeping the ball down.
I think if you're Chen-Ming Wong right now, you got to feel like you got a do-over. Gave up 2 runs in the first, but your team answered with 3, so you're starting this game all over again, 1-0.
Well, and Mike Leake could tell him, hey, last time I gave up 11 hits, buddy, and we won 10-7.
Yep.
So sometimes the run support's there. Nice when pitchers don't have to be perfect. Had him waiting on a breaking ball on 1-2. That Arizona ball club, by the way, playing at Philadelphia tonight with an early lead. Edgar Renteria is next. And Wong trying to paint that outside corner, just missing.
Let's see what the pitch track has to say. And slider down and away, just off the plate. A pretty good try by Wong.
Zimmerman over to grab the foul ball.
Probably his best pitch of the night right there. 2-seam fastball. Dropped off a table at the very end, and that's the pitch that he had more times than not against the Cubs his last outing. That bowling ball type sinker, that heavy sinker that breaks late and down and into a right-hander. And he gets on top of it, keeps his front side closed. It's more about the arm slot than anything with Wong. He'll get that downward action on the sinker. When he spins off, opens up too early, the ball just run into a righty. It won't sink.
That ball lined out to center, right to Rick Ankiel. 2 outs.
You can see that one right there to Stubbs with 2 strikes. Just kind of ran into him. Didn't have that downward plane to it. And that's where you get the fly ball outs instead of the ground ball outs.
A lot of things happening in the homestand. We're going to tell you about the back to school drive, Dollar Dog Night, Ian Desmond bobblehead, but right now it's the kids' duffel bag. Sunday, 135 against the Phillies. First 10,000 fans, 12 and under. And it's presented by Masson and DC 50. We have our own versions up here, red, white, and blue. Beautiful looking. Starting at $10 for tickets. Go to nationals.com/tickets. We're going to have a full ballpark all weekend. If you want Phillies tickets, act quickly because this place is going to be full. Nice crowd gathering for the return of the boys tonight. Renteria popped out to Zimmerman first time. Caught the outside corner up under the ceiling of the strike zone. 1-1. Long first inning. 20 pitches, 12 strikes. He's had to throw another dozen here. That ball laced to right, and Worth is right there to get it. Might have been battling the lights at the tail end of that play. Boy, these clubs are swinging the bat so far tonight. Area FP, good to see him in preparation for another rehab at Hagerstown tomorrow night.
Not a Bigfoot sighting, a big guy sighting. He's in the yard today playing with Bo Porter's son out there in right field. Good to see him back in this ballpark.
And Stephen Caddy says, I'll drink to that.
Talked to Mark Lerner today. He was at both of Strasburg's starts. The first one in Hagerstown, the second one in Potomac. Just wanted to say, hey, we're proud of you for all the hard work you've done. We're glad to have you back, and we can't wait to get all the way back to Washington.
Here's Chin-Ming Wong, 0 for 4 this year, 0 for 18 career. A lot of things to be excited. Rizzo will be along in 2 innings. Nationals getting a good commitment from ownership to spend money on the future of the franchise last night. Second strikeout for Mike Leake, so let's check our minor league report brought to you by PNC. There they are, Anthony Rendon from Rice, number 6 overall, and the rest of them followed it. Solutions for the Nats and solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. PNC for the achiever in you. What did I read? Over $16 million spent last night?
$16.5 million. You ever have a night like that, Bob? We just write a check for $16.5?
$16.50 a few times. That's a piece of gas way upstairs. 0-2 to Ankiel, who Dropped that base hit into left center that was in the air, as FP said, for a long, long time. It found the ground, and the Nats found 3 runs on 4 hits.
I think there's some question whether young Yonder Alonso in left field can play that position. I know the Reds right now, we talked to some of the Reds people today before the game. They're kind of in look-see mode. Checking out the young guys, seeing if they can hang at this level, whether it's offense or defense. They're taking a good look at their young players. The third baseman, Frazier, the left fielder, Alonso.
Well, they've had a lot of injuries. Rob Butcher, their media relations director, told me today they've had 14 frontline players on the DL this year. 14. And they didn't have 2 of their starting pitchers for the first month and a half. Homer Bailey was hurt. Johnny Cueto, who pitches tomorrow night here, was hurt. Edinson Volquez up and down. Aroldis Chapman, the hard-throwing Cuban, he's in their bullpen right now. Been kind of a troubled year. It's tough to repeat, isn't it?
It is. It's harder to stay there than to get there, for sure.
Doesn't mean you're not a good ball club, but everything has to go right for you to win a division championship. The Reds did it last year. Espinosa fouls out. The Nats go quickly. Bottom of the second, but lead 3-2. Time 3-2 Nats lead. Saturday and Sunday we're going to have some back to school fun here. It's the back to school drive presented by PNC Bank. All school supplies will be collected at the center field gates Saturday and Sunday. All donations benefit public schools in the district in Maryland and Virginia. Nationals.com/tickets. Again, tickets are in short supply for the weekend. If you want to see the Nats and the Phillies, get on the website now. Reserve your tickets for the weekend. And we'll help the kids get back to school. They need our help in the public schools, and we're happy to supply them and get them going for the fall semester. Joey Votto walked and scored first time up, and he fouls this one. It's a ball and a strike to the native of Canada, Toronto area. This guy's really become a great frontline player in this league. And it's interesting, FP, a couple of years ago, he was battling some depression and anxiety issues. He's overcome that, and then he becomes an MVP the following year. And can he hit a baseball? Just hooking foul.
I don't think a lot of people realize the pressures that you're under as a Major League Baseball player on a nightly basis to perform. Especially as a young kid coming up. If you don't get your knocks, you're back in the minor leagues. You're doing it on a big stage in front of 30,000 people every night on TV. And when you fail at this level, it's not easy.
There's an appeal and a safe sign by Angel Campos down at third. Yeah, he was in the middle of hitting .322 that year. Early stages of that season. This guy's still only 27 years of age. He has figured it out, putting some good years together. Nats want to jam him here. And he lashes that ball to left in his tracks. Frozen was Lance Nix to make that catch.
That's a good scouting report. Anytime you don't have to move as an outfielder, they got you in the right spot.
I'm just kind of impressed with that inside-out swing on a ball that slightly jammed him. So here's Brandon Phillips, who hit that ball to right field, on which Worth made a good play first time.
Well, we've seen Jason Worth in right field for a long time now, and I'll tell you this, he comes in on the ball as good as any right fielder I've seen. When he gets into trouble is usually when he has to go back out of baseball. But coming in, going either way, whether it's toward the line, toward the gap, or straight in, he's as good as anybody.
Hey, souvenir time for the little guy. That's a nice back-to-school thing. He's got his show and tell taken care of. Ian Desmond, tricky little in-between hop, and a very good athletic play.
They were still talking about the play he made in Wrigley Field last time behind Wong the next day. If you remember, Chen-Ming Wong had a no-hitter through 5 his last outing. Big reason was Ian Desmond going up the middle, a play similar to this. This one he got in front of him a little more. The play in Chicago was off to his left in a one-hand play. This one, the two-hand variety. Watch a little in-between hop. He stays soft. Rolls up his glove, hits his chest, comes back down into his glove, and he throws it to first.
And that was the second out of the 5th inning against a left-handed batter, Tyler Colvin, when he made that play. Jay Bruce, RBI single first time.
And let's check out Ian Desmond one more time. Check out this baseball. It hits his palm, the heel actually out of his glove. Rolls up his jersey, comes back down. He fields the ball with his bare hand. How about that? You talk about slowing the game down defensively.
And Bruce will hit a routine fly ball to Jason Worth.
In April, he panics on that play. It hits the ground and he throws it away. Not the case in August.
Not on August 16th. And now Wong putting some outs together. New Cox Solution stores or www.cox.com. Well, Jay Bruce gets the Reds on the board. Ian Desmond gives the Nats the lead with a 2-run single. And Michael Morse has also chipped in with RBI number 70. Are we settling down into a pitcher's duel here? We'll find out. These 3 guys go down in order. The answer will be yes. Zimmerman, Morse, and Worth, bottom 3.
It doesn't happen very often in this ballpark, but when the temperatures are high and the humidity is low, this park plays very small.
Yeah, it carries. Fastball in there from Malik, 32 pitches, 20 strikes in the first 2 innings. Zimmerman singling up the middle into the glove of Edgar Renteria first time, right before Michael Morse delivered that big double. So Zimmerman inching up toward 300 again. He's at 296. Michael has 70 RBIs now and hitting in the mid 320 range. This ball high in the air and out of play right side.
Oh, Ryan got a pitch to drive right there, just a little late on the 2-0 offer, 2-1 offering, excuse me, up in his eyes.
I think his reaction would indicate he agrees with you on that.
He wants that one back.
Reaches out for that one. This is reachable for Renteria. He's won some gold gloves over there at shortstop. Michael Morse got Washington on the board to open up the gates in that first inning.
Yeah, it didn't take long for the Beast to go beast mode. Just a slider out over the plate going the other way. Jay Bruce took a couple of steps in, and that's all it took. Michael Morse is pumped on the second bench. Then Ian Desmond picking up Lance Nix, who struck out with the bases loaded with a knock of his own up the middle and scored a couple. That's how it stands. 3-2 Nats.
Michael Morse now hitting .323 and over .320 here at the home park. Jason Worth walked first inning, so Zimmerman, Morris, and Worth all on base as Ankiel and Desmond bookended that 3-run rally. And these guys did their jobs right in the middle of it. And a 2-1. There it goes, heading for the scoreboard. And the Nats lead it 4-2 on Michael's 21st home run. That is an amazing opposite field laser beam.
I mean, come on. The game is not this easy, Michael Morse. A double his first time up that was scalded. A home run the other way his second time up. And the Beast is on fire in the blue jersey tonight.
Batting average up to .324. Double homer. Here's Worth. Home run number 109 for the Nationals. Cincinnati Reds have given up 131 home runs this year. 8 fewer than they've hit. And they lead the league in the hit home run department.
Michael Morse hit 131 in batting practice today. You should have saw the display he put on. Unbelievable, show-stopping display. Had the Reds looking. Everybody on the Nats stopped and looked. Just bombs after bomb after bomb. Red porch, blue seats over the bullpen. A couple on the concourse.
Capitol Dome.
Unbelievable.
3-0 to Worth. And that's in there. First strike they've thrown him tonight. Leak touched for his 16th homer of the year. And he gets a good piece of this one to right field. It'll stop short of the track, though, for Bruce, and that's the second out here. In the bottom of the third as we approach twilight time here. Let's have a look at the home run on the Jeep Exmo.
I'm just going to watch a perfect swing. If you got that on DVR, rewind it, play it for your kids. Tell them that's how you're supposed to let a ball get deep. And that's how you're supposed to go the other way, with authority. Wow.
And then go get them a Jeep. The Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Summer Clearance Event. These offers won't last long. Hurry in to your local dealership. Nix will pull it foul. Davey Johnson talking today about Morse. Said the first time he saw him was in spring training 2 years ago And he thought Michael might be trying to be the kind of hitter that he's really not. He wanted to see Michael Morse just kind of let it fly and swing. That's what he's doing. Nix robbed of a hit on a good play by Joey Votto. You know, playing defense is part of being an MVP as well. Michael Morse with an amazing swing. Opposite field. 2 ribbies tonight. And on his 21st homer, Nats lead 4-2. Left to right here, representing Air Force, SEALs, and U.S. Navy. Welcome up to the booth. And Mike Rizzo, congratulations on getting those kids signed last night.
Appreciate it.
But it takes a commitment from ownership to allow you to do that.
There's no question. It was in full view last night. The ownership was in the war room with us, and it was a collaborative effort to get those guys signed.
Any suspense down the stretch that we need to know about? Because I know for the last couple of years there has been.
There was a lot of suspense. 8 minutes left on the clock, and we had 3 guys that weren't signed yet. So it came down to the last minute, as it usually does, and we got them all done at the end, though.
Well, great news for the Nats and for their future. And we go to the top of the 4th. Chien-Ming Wang against Ramon Hernandez. And he'll lash one out to center, but Rick Ankiel is right there for the first out. So Chien-Ming Wang, Mike, not exactly getting a lot of ground balls tonight, but right now he's getting outs. He's got 7 straight and 8 of the last 9.
I think he's, instead of the hard sink that he had in Chicago, it's a little bit more of east-west of sink, and he's keeping it off the barrel for the most part. But, yeah, we'd like to see him induce a few more ground balls.
Yonder Alonso will be next. Well, Mike, I know that Roy Clark and others have compared this haul you made last night and over the last several weeks to some of the great drafts ever. What makes you and the Nationals feel that way?
Well, you know, Roy Clark and Chris Klein, they've been parts of some great drafts in their history.
Lance Nix going to get that one, 2 outs. Well hit by Alonso.
As you know, Chris Klein was a big part of the Arizona Diamondbacks' success when I was over there. And Roy Clark, his record speaks for itself. Those Atlanta teams that won all those championships, and the one that's currently playing in Atlanta are his guys. Those are the guys he drafted, and we brought him over here 3 years ago, and he's really put our Washington Nationals scouting system on the map.
We'll talk about some of these kids you signed. A quick 2 outs, so maybe we'd keep you another half inning.
I think we're going to have to now. So that Mike Rizzo does not set the record for the shortest GM interview in the history of baseball.
Hey, thanks for coming.
We'll return back with the GM in a moment. Hey, we love quick innings with our guy pitching. thought Teddy was about to do that tonight, and down he goes with only yards to go before the tape. Now, if Mike Rizzo can just get Teddy to win a race, everything will be great around here. Hey, Mike, FP was asking you about some of the kids. Let's start with young Mr. Rendon out of Rice. And, your thoughts on him, the top draft pick signed last night.
Well, Anthony is a great competitor and a great performer. He was All-American as a sophomore at 27 home runs. Played with a shoulder problem this year that kept him from playing third base, but he was able to DH for the Rice Owls. And he's a guy with the combination of power and average. He led the country this year in on-base percentage, walked 80 times in the college season, and when his shoulder is right, which we believe it is right now, he's a Gold Glove caliber type of third baseman.
Good swing by Ian Desmond. That one picked off by Votto. How about right-hander Alex Meyer?
Alex Meyer is a guy who came, who was turned down $2 million out of high school with the Boston Red Sox and went to University of Kentucky. 6'8", big physical pitcher that's come into his own this junior year. He's a big hard thrower with 95 to 100 mile an hour fastball and a power slider, and had a terrific season at University of Kentucky.
And then when you signed Brian Goodwin, the outfielder, that gave you 3 of the first 34 picks.
Definitely, he was a compensation pick for us, and he's a top of the order, speedy center fielder on the along the lines of a Michael Bourne type of player.
That ball well hit by Ramos. Look at this, heading for the wall. He's going to have to hustle to second base as Jay Bruce, who has 8 assists, throws it in. Your guys are swinging the bats tonight.
Yeah, it's warm August night. The ball flies a little bit more when it's warmer out, and guys are feeling pretty good. Our offense is feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
You got to like when Wilson Ramos is going the other way like this, letting the ball travel.
When he lets it travel and he can cover that outer third of the plate, he's as dangerous as anybody opposite field, and we've got to get him more into that mode. And we had him move up on the plate a little bit about a week or so ago, and I think the results have been favorable for him.
And he's got that little extra gear too, and he needs it getting into second base. That looked nice. Getting back to the draft picks, which ones are the closest? Now I know there's a lot that goes into it. It's hard to say. They go to the minor leagues. Are they going to sink? Are they going to swim? You're hoping they're going to be here quick. But I saw some guys sign major league contracts. Some guys sign minor league contracts. Maybe tell the fans what the difference is.
Well, the difference is the biggest difference is major league contracts. They become major league players. They're on the 40-man roster automatically. They go to big league spring training automatically. They have all the benefits and perks that a major league player has. So that's the big perk for the players. It's a vehicle that allows us to spread money out over the length of the contract for a major league contract. The minor league contracts, they have to be paid within the next calendar year of the signing. So those minor league guys, their entire bonuses have to be paid up by the end of 2012. Major league contracts, you can spread that stuff along the lines of the entire contract.
Wong will ground it to short, and with the ball being behind the base runner, Ramos can move on to third base with 2 outs.
So my $1,000 bonus would have been spread out over a 12-month period?
Yes, along with my $1,000 bonus, yes, it was.
Well, that's how much you gave to Dan Uggla years ago.
Exactly.
That turned out okay.
That turned out okay for Dan, for sure. There's no doubt. He parlayed that into about a $54 million deal.
Mike, when you look back on the draft now and you're signing of these players, how does it rate with you personally? I mean, did you guys get everything out of this draft that you hoped for?
We really did. It's really a testament to our scouting department. It was terrific. We had a great strategy going in. We had a vision and a real plan going into it. The ownership allowed us to be aggressive. We feel that we've got 4 first-round picks that were signed last night. They were graded as first-round picks. They had a performance of first-rounders, and we feel that because of that, we had an outstanding year.
That's a fair ball, and Ankiel will get a run home here. That ball hugging the chalk and the bag all the way down the line, and coming in is Ramos. The Nats lead 5-2.
It was hugging first base off Ed Hickox too. Look at Joey Votto going for this baseball. He had a beat on it, and even after he dropped it, he was staying with it, and he got tangled up with the first base up. Pretty good range by Votto going into foul territory. The ball's right there. Goes between his legs. A lot going on. I think the Nats catch a big break right there. Allows them to score a run.
Joey's made himself into a really good defensive player also. He could always hit, but he's really become a good defender.
They're going to give Cincinnati's Votto only his 5th error of the year. So no RBI for Ankiel, but the Nats pick up the unearned run and lead by 3. Well, Mike, Steven Strasburg back at it again tomorrow night. He was here for a throwing session today. How's he doing?
He's doing great. He looks wonderful. He's improved his entire body, and he's chomping at the bit to go. He's a guy that we always have to hold back and pull on the reins because he just likes to let it go. So we're being very careful with him. We brought him in here to monitor his throwing program in between starts, and he'll have a start tomorrow night, and then we'll take the next step that we think is prudent to do.
Yeah, being careful with him. I mean, how do you do that? It's just when he gets between the lines, do your thing. I mean, do you find him when he hits triple digits? How do you be careful with a guy like that that's just got that mindset, that makeup?
You have to make sure that he's ready to throw, because once he crosses the line and there's a batter in the box, he's going to go after it. So we have to make sure that he's prepared to do so and not let him fool us by telling us that he is ready when he's not. We have to evaluate what he's doing. The most important day is the day after he throws the rehab start. Then we watch him play catch the next day, and then he has his bullpen session. Those things are all monitored very, very closely, and if there's any kind of hiccup, we back him off.
Has there been any change in his mechanics?
The only change that we've had is a very subtle one. You'll see him. He's throwing at a much more angle, more of a downplane angle than he was previously, and that's by design. He's going to have a different maybe mindset on the mound, and do a little bit more of the Jordan Zimmerman kind of a plan, where instead of going for 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, maybe 7.5 and 8, and get more efficiency per pitch.
Now the count goes full to Espinosa on a pitch up and in.
I think it'd be pretty impossible to have a guy that throws 100 pitch to contact. I mean, how does that happen?
Well, how about throttle it back to a 2-seamer at 97 and get more swings and misses early, or weak contact early in the at bat?
That'd be good.
Runner moving. Another ball right down the chalk line. It's a race to the bag, and Leake gets there just before Espinosa, and the inning's over. Mike, congratulations on last night. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, fellas. My pleasure.
Mike Rizzo, Nats GM. The future is bright here in our nation's capital. And most reliable wireless network, and by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Some friends of ours from jolly old England have joined us tonight. That's why they're chanting constantly. Now we'll see if they can go beyond 90 minutes, which is, of course, the elapsed time of a regulation soccer game.
Yeah, don't forget about injury time. They'll be okay.
I'd say there's a good chance there's going to be some injury time.
Good chance there's some beverages, adult beverages flowing out there.
Evidently, we're watching baseball in the largest pub in North America tonight. Mike Leake leads off, top of the 5th inning.
Just ask Mike Rizzo. Better day. Strasburg's last rehab with the Bryce Harper walk-off home run. Nats beating the Phillies and all the young guys contributing to a big win on the road, or last night. He said last night by far, because of the longer ramifications for the organization. But
sure,
he also said that was one of his better days ever as a GM, the first one I was talking about.
Ryan Zimmerman making that play in routine fashion on Mike Leake. Top of the order now for the Reds with 1 out in the 5th. Wong, by the way, pretty economical tonight. In his first 4 innings, just under 12 pitches per at 47 with 31 strikes. Now he gets a quick out in the 5th. And he's lining himself up to pitch deep into a ball game again. Drew Stubbs. He's hit the ball well twice. Base hit to right. Line drive right at Ankiel in center. This guy is racking up some strikeout numbers that it's hard to compare with anybody who's in a leadoff spot. I remember Bobby Bonds, when we were kids, as a Giant, used to hit a lot of home runs, lead off, and strike out a lot. But it's kind of unusual for a leadoff man to be leading the major leagues in strikeouts.
It is, but he's also got a very respectable on-base percentage at .324. Probably not what you'd ideally want out of your leadoff hitter, but, you know, .252 coming in tonight's game. 15 home runs and 40 RBIs. That's not your prototypical leadoff guy either. It looks like Dusty Baker found himself a good spot. He's in the foxhole right now, laying low. He's in the duck blind, which he'll be in about a month and a half. And I'll be with him.
Breaking ball way outside, 2-2. By the way, checking in on the Phillies and Diamondbacks again. Still 1-0. Arizona, 4th inning, up. Everybody in the Central keeping their eye on that Milwaukee ball club. They won 4 in a row again. And they are scoreless just underway at home against the Dodgers, where they are unbeatable. Serious jammage on that one. Easy grab, Danny Espinosa. 2 outs.
Let's go back to my boy Dusty Baker sitting right there. I mean, that's how he spends half his offseason. Although he'd have on a camouflage hat, maybe a duck call around his neck. A camouflage jacket. Sitting in the duck blind, calling him in. That's how he spends pretty much half of his offseason. Pot of coffee right by his left. Sitting there with his buddies, doing a little hunting.
4th year with the Reds, 18th year as a big league manager at the age of 61.
He's a great guy to play for. You talk to anybody that's played for him, he's a bench guy's delight. They'll come up to you on the airplane and tell you on a road trip, you have the 3rd game in New York, the 2nd game in Philly, and the last game in Pittsburgh. Get your sleep.
And he's a guy who, as a player, played at a high level. Not all of them become good managers at all.
Good point.
Hit over 240 homers, over 1,000 RBIs. Braves, Dodgers, Giants, A's, 6-time All-Star.
And he has a phrase that he says, and I remember it to this day. He says, think lucky. Whenever you have a rally going, he'll tell everybody on the bench, think lucky.
Desmond showing off the gun. That is no luck involved, baby. That is skill right there. So here comes Zimmerman, Morse, and Worth. Ryan tonight, 1 for 2 with a base hit. Michael Morse has had one heck of a night with an opposite field RBI double, opposite field home run. And then there's Mr. Worth, who has walked and flied out tonight. We call them the big guns, the big 3. They're coming up right after this break. run since then. Visit AFCEA.org, the Association for IT Pros. And with our sideline report, here's Debbie.
Well, we have a little bit of an update on catcher Pudge Rodriguez. He was able to play a little bit of catch today. He'll try to do the same again tomorrow. He admitted, though, this has been such a frustrating time for him, not being able to play, but just hanging out and watching these games. Davey Johnson just wants him to just relax and rest. And for Pudge, he said it's really frustrating because he's had x-rays, MRIs, everything's coming back negative, but he's still got some pain. So he was able to ride the bike this morning, do a little work here at the ballpark, and it's just a wait-and-see situation. He did tell me, too, though, that he will be playing winter ball. He said he's got a lot of baseball left, and let's just hope it's this year. Bob, FP?
Well, we certainly hope he's got several good weeks left in him this year, FP. I know you've talked about this. Hard guy to have sitting around. And there it goes. See you later. Up near the top of the seats down the line. And the Nats lead 6-2. That's number 7 for Ryan. How about the big 3 in the middle tonight?
How about that bomb? Are you kidding me? Throw that one back.
If he can find it. He knows he got it.
No, he got all of it, too. That was a no-doubter right off the bat. Had the sound, had the trajectory, and had plenty of distance. Wow.
Now here's Morris, who has 6 total bases already. He's gone opposite field twice, double homer, 2 RBIs. Nats lead by 4.
This could be loud, too.
Outside corner, 1-1. It's 110 homers for the Nationals now. 11 more than they've given up. Morris to the shortstop. Renteria. Out number 1 here in the 5th.
Let's check out the tater one more time off the bat of Ryan Zimmerman. Listen to it. Oh. Come on. Looked into the dugout. Sure, he told one of his buddies, I'm going deep right here. Big leg kick, get the bat out. Wow. That's farther than one hit in Chicago.
Higher, certainly. And that ball didn't have much hook on it. It just went straight down the line. Probably fair by 20 feet.
4 rows away from the concourse. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, when the Nats hit home runs, they don't mess around. They're not wall scrapers. They don't hit anywhere the outfielders are jumping for them, and you're wondering, well, when they go deep, we had a stat in Chicago. All of Morris's home runs, I think 16 of his 20 coming into tonight were over 400 feet. 6 of those were over 440. And Ryan Zimmerman's no slouch either. When he gets one, they go.
4th tonight, a walk and a fly ball to right. And now the count 3-0.
You know what that swing was from Zimmerman? That's the pitch that he got the last time that he fouled off, and we saw the reaction from him. The pitch up in his eyes that he missed, he fouled it down the right field line. He was a little bit late. Great hitters make the adjustment. He caught that one out in front, and that's the difference. You don't throw great hitters the same pitch twice. He knew he missed it the time before, was upset with himself, and he said, you know what? He told all his buddies on the bench, I guarantee it, if I get that pitch again, I'm going deep. He made a mistake. I let him get away with it. If he makes it again, I'm going to make him pay, and he did.
And Worth is going to take strike 3.
Now, this is when it gets good right here, the Exmo swing. Whenever we have a home run, especially on a hitter like Ryan Zimmerman, watch how still the head is. Hitting off his backside, around his head. And every time I see him swing on the Exmo, I don't know that there's a hitter in baseball that keeps his head down longer and better than Ryan Zimmerman. He just buries his head on contact.
Hurry into your local dealer today. Offers won't last long on the Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram summer clearance event. They bring us our Exmo. Lance Nix 0 for 2, strikeout, and a hard ground ball on which Joey Votto robbed him of a hit. And this one right to the second baseman, Brandon Phillips. But the Nats doing a good job of putting up that picket fence on the scoreboard. A run in each of the last 3 innings. And this was a bomb heading for the Capitol Dome. Well fair, well out of here. And the Nats feeling pretty well, too, up by 4. Wednesday is Dollar Dog Night. It's back tomorrow night starting at $10. And drop by nationals.com/tickets. Get in cheaply. Get some good eating in too here at the ballpark. And that's while supplies last. I would rate our hot dogs at Nationals Park, and I am a hot dog connoisseur. That ball is lashed by Votto to the scoreboard. Worth tried to go right after it, thinking he might have a play at second base. And Joey Votto's on for the second time. But I would rate our dogs here at Nationals Park in the top 20% of the National League.
Well, you would know.
I'm a pretty harsh critic.
You would know because more times than not, you go to the concession stand, you buy a hot dog, and that's your dinner before
hot dog and a pretzel.
Yep. True baseball fan.
You know, I had a major tragedy at home over the weekend. Went to my favorite hot dog place. Closed. My wife's still laughing.
They're not making wieners anymore there?
Not there.
That's no good.
Hot dogs are making big news right now. There are 2 hot dog companies in court against each other. There's a bouncing ball to the right side. Hot dogs are serious business. The judge said, let the wiener wars begin.
Some days you never know where the broadcast is going.
That's right. We're going to bring it right back to 1 out here in the 6th on a ground ball by Brandon Phillips. But it's Dollar Dog Night tomorrow night. Hope you enjoy it.
How many of those have we had so far? And not once have we had a hot dog up here in the booth.
Yeah, this is at least 3 I know of.
I mean, I'll pay. It's on me.
Wow.
I got it. I'll buy you one.
My camera has and my phone has a camera, so I can't wait to capture that moment. That's low and away. Well, you know, we really shouldn't make you buy after that huge bonus you got way back when, that $1,000 bonus.
That's right. I bought something called stock in Starbucks with that.
Did you? Oh. Jin-Ming Wong getting plenty of run support. Catcher Ramon Hernandez next here in the 6th. Runner at third, 1 out. Now the Reds, who are down by 4, have to chip away and get this run home from third base. Leak 80 pitches through 5. Right side, that'll score the run. Now the Nats want to get the out, and that's what Morrison and Wong do. So both teams happy with that transaction. It's now a 6-3 game.
I think what you're seeing from Wong the last couple of innings is some ground ball outs, and that's what he's looking for.
By the way, 4 of his last 5 outs, FP, in 3 in a row.
Just the double to Votto in between that. We see him settle down. He gets a nice 3-run lead, settling down a little bit. You see the box score for the Reds.
That's a good hitting ball club he's holding down at the moment. Six ground ball outs now. And now Hernandez becomes a key hitter. He's hit the ball well twice. That laser to right off the glove of Worth, and then a shot right at Ankiel. Had him reaching. Little chopper. Here comes Desmond. Can't make the connection. Zimmerman almost went over to cut that ball off.
I guarantee if you ask Ian Desmond, he had to do it over again, he would have slowed that down a little bit. Ramon Hernandez does not run well. He got the opposing catcher, not a lot to be in a hurry with. You come in and you break down and field that conventional style, maybe not on the run, you'll have a chance to get Hernandez. I mean, that's the kind of play you make on a speedy guy.
Nationals. Second error of the night, and now a base hit by Alonso, and that'll keep this inning going. Two on, two out. Number 8 hitter Todd Frazier.
The important thing with those last 2 hitters is they hit ground balls.
So Todd Coffey, another former Cincinnati guy. And Wong throws a strike. Only 57 pitches into this inning after a 10-pitch 1-2-3 fifth. Dying to be out there, Pudge Rodriguez. Pretty good job of running that sinker under the hands of the right-handed batter. There's a smarter way to heat and cool your home. Visit Bosch-Climate.us to learn more.
Pretty good slider. Probably the best off-speed pitch from Wong all night.
Pitcher spot due next for the Reds here in the 6th. Runs that fastball again.
And Fred Lewis out on deck for the Reds. So a little protection right here for Todd Frazier.
That is Jose Arredondo. Breaking ball way outside.
And you got Fred Lewis on deck, one of the better pinch hitters in the National League. 9 for 25 this year in a pinch hitting role, 360. Pretty good hitter on deck.
Runners on the move here with 2 outs. And right back to the pitcher. It'll be grabbed by Chien-Ming Wong. Michael Morse pawing away at that bag, found it in time. Cincinnati settling for 1 in the 6th. Twins bobblehead featured for the first 15,000 fans, 7 o'clock Saturday night when the Phillies are here. It's presented by PNC Bank. Starting at $10, check out tickets. Nationals.com/tickets for all your information. Phillies in for 3 Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. Quite a homestand. Reds, Phils, and Diamondbacks. Desmond on the first pitch. This one's over by the dugout and into the seats. Ian's 1 for 2 with a big blow in this ball game. A 2-out single back in the first that drove in Zimmerman and Morse, who had reached safely, giving the Nats that 3-run first inning. They've been cruising since. On the Morse homer in the third, the error by Votto in the fourth, and then the monstrous Zimmerman home run, 5th inning. So the box score pretty nice and full tonight. Fastball inside corner, 0-2. Tried to pull that breaking ball. Renteria with an extra crow hop and a close play at first. That'll bring in Wilson Ramos, and then we'll keep our eyes on the on-deck circle, where Chien-Ming Wang has already come out with a bat. He's only at 71 pitches, but FP, I'm pretty sure the leash will be short starting in the 7th.
I would imagine. I went up to him the next day in Wrigley Field after his last outing and said, "You have more in the tank?" And he said, "Absolutely." He was feeling good.
He threw 81 pitches in that game, 53 strikes in 6 full innings. So he gets 1 out tonight after this, and he'll be at a new depth of the ball game as a national starter. Chien-Ming Wang, by the way, has something that not a whole lot of guys do. Twice as many career wins as losses. 56 over 28. That's a rocket by Ramos. Well played by Renteria. 2 outs. And Chien-Ming Wang will walk to the plate here.
Even though that ball was hit harder than Ramon Hernandez's ground ball to Ian Desmond, you see Edgar Renteria right there. He knows the opposing catcher is running. He takes his time, stands up, makes a nice lob across the infield because he knows he has plenty of time.
Counts even, 1-1 here in the 6th. Phillies have picked up a couple of runs at home and now lead Arizona 2-1. Shane Victorino has hit his 13th home run. Hard to believe it's the 16th of August. If the Phillies win tonight, they'll be 11 wins from 90 at this stage of the season. That's it. That'll be it for Mike Leake. A 1-2-3 6th. They'll pinch hit for him in a moment, and the Nats lead 6-3. You buy Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. Mr. Lincoln presiding over a beautiful Tuesday evening, mid-August, on a perfect baseball night in Washington, D.C. Let's have a look at our upcoming schedule. Tomorrow night, Ross Detweiler, Johnny Cueto, game 2 of this series. Jordan Zimmerman, Bronson Arroyo, night game on Thursday. And then the Phillies come in for 3, our friends from DC 50. Join us on Sunday just to take that one step farther. Homestand with 4, Arizona in town next week. Catch all the action with Xfinity only from Comcast. Your home for the most live sports. Get Xfinity today at 1-800-XFINITY. Jin-Ming Wong at 71 pitches, 47 strikes through 6. And he will face Fred Lewis. Leading off for the Reds here, batting for Mike Leake. Lewis with Toronto last year, and before that 4 years with the Giants. He was originally drafted by the Expos back in 2000, didn't sign, went to Southern University, signed with the Giants as a second rounder 2 years later. You saw a lot of Mr. Lewis in San Fran. Tell us about it.
I saw a lot of him in San Jose. I was his hitting coach in A-ball. A guy that has a lot of raw tools. I played football in college and joined the baseball party a little bit late. There was a lot of hopes in the Giants organization that he would be a late bloomer.
That is a late base hit. Really hard hit. 7th inning. He's aboard. The Cincinnati offense is never out of a game. AT&T trivia as we go back to the top of the order in Stubbs. And there's Dusty. 6th manager in history to win 300 games with 3 different teams. There will be more in a moment. And evidently that's about it. Although this is Steve McCaddy, not Davey Johnson. In fact, Dusty won the most games with the Giants. We'll let you guess who the team in the middle was. Tyler Clippard getting ready.
I think with the team in the middle, he had a similar situation that happened with that team the other day. One of his players left a game early toward the end of the season. One of his star players actually left the ballpark at about the 6th inning after he was taken out of the game.
Does his last name begin with Z?
No, it doesn't.
Not okay. Not Carlos Zambrano. By the way, everywhere Dusty's been, he's at least won a divisional title. So let's look at the rest of our entry here. 840 with the Giants, 322 with the Cubs, and just a handful of managers have done that with 3 different ball clubs.
Pretty sure Sammy Sosa left the ball game early toward the end of his career there as the manager for the Cubs.
That's right. And Dusty, of course, was the manager when the Cubs lost that infamous LCS to the Marlins in '03. They led 3-1.
Wherever he was sitting in the dugout when Bartman caught that foul ball, I guarantee he never sat there again.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, he's come closer than any other Cub manager to getting them to the World Series. Maybe as close as Dallas Green did back in '84 when the ground ball went through Leon Durham's legs against San Diego. That ball picked on a short hop by Ramos. Ball 2. Well, if Wong doesn't start getting some outs and there's Renteria on deck, they might be looking at Tyler Clippard going for a 5 or 6 out setup job tonight.
I would imagine tie and run to the plate is all Tyler Clippard's.
And that would be with 1 more runner. That ball hit hard, but here comes Ankiel. And he's going to have to go right to the turf. I think that thing died on him. And Rick's still able to make that good play. Boy, there has been nothing wrong at all with his center field defense.
I'll put him up against anybody in baseball as far as first step quickness and jump. I mean, he's ready for the baseball every single time. And I think that's key for a center fielder. Obviously, positioning. One of the advantages of playing center field is you see where the catcher's setting up. You can set yourself up accordingly, especially when you have a pitcher on the mound that's going to hit his spots. But Rick Ankiel is never surprised when the ball is hit to him. A lot of outfielders are.
Here's Renteria 0 for 3. And he hits one to Ankiel. And this ball is really hit hard. It is up against the very top of the wall. Coming around to score will be Lewis. Renteria has hurt himself, and he hobbles into second base. Edgar Renteria doubles home a run to make it 6-4, but he's hurt. If he hits that ball 3 feet to the left, it's a 2-run homer.
And that ball was absolutely pounded. Good extension. The pitch was up. Rick Ankiel gets a little too close to the wall right here, trying to go after the baseball, and that allows Fred Lewis to score all the way from first. He had to hold up. No idea what happened to Edgar Renteria. That just might be a cramp. He is going off the field right now. It might be a groin. It looks like the way he's walking. When you walk that gingerly, it's usually a groin. When those things go, it is painful. There's not a whole lot you can do afterwards. Just ice that thing, rest it. And it indeed looks like he pulled his groin.
Paul Janisch will be the pinch runner. And now the Nats will make a call to the bullpen for Tyler Clippard. Packaged by the UPS store. We love logistics. Chin-Ming Wong's longest outing as a Nat. Got 19 outs, gave up 7 hits. Could be responsible for up to 5 runs, but he cannot be the loser. If you're hitting the road, take us with you wherever you go, and take the Nats as well. MLB.TV, waiting for your subscription. Every Nationals game live or on demand on your computer or your favorite device. To order and for more details, visit Nationals.com, MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. Infielder Paul Janisch will replace Renteria as Tyler Clippard takes over with his 53rd appearance at great ERA. And as we mentioned, this could be a 5-out setup job, and there's Janisch running for Edgar Renteria. Tough hitters now. Joey Votto first. That's a changeup for ball 1. Votto a walk, a double, 2 runs scored. He's number 6 in the National League in runs and in batting average, 4th in hits, 1st in walks and on base percentage, and he's also number 1 in runners in scoring position, hitting .420. That's a little flare that'll be caught by Danny Espinosa.
418.
That's by the way, the highest mark in baseball, 420, now 418 as we speculate. And it'll be Brandon Phillips now, 2 outs. He's 0 for 3. Well, one thing that would help FP if you're trying for a 5-out setup job would be 2 quick outs. Then you can catch your breather, keep that adrenaline pumping for the 8th inning.
He's working on about 3 days off, a couple of off days. He didn't pitch the last game in Philadelphia, I don't believe. He was in the close one the night before, setting up the save for Drew Storm. So he's had 4 days off. He's got plenty in the tank.
Clippard goes off speed, misses away to Phillips. The Nats would rather see Jay Bruce in the 8th inning with those RBIs he's been gathering lately, 2 of them tonight, and 80 on the year. That ball is killed and way foul. This guy loves the fastball. There's some gas upstairs, 95. This is an interesting matchup because Brandon Phillips is a fastball hitter, and Clippard's changeup comes from the exact same motion that the heater does.
And you got the hottest guy on the planet on deck.
Oh, yeah. Pours in 94.
A well-located 94, down and away.
Well, let's see if he has him set up for a 2-2 changeup here. Often, though, Tyler will just take a guy up the ladder for the strikeout with the hard stuff.
He's kind of on that changeup. He pulled foul. I wonder if that's going to scare Clippard away from it.
He goes fastball and misses upstairs, 3-2. Yeah, foul ball can change your mind, can't it?
Yeah, he made contact with it, which is that more than most right-handers do in that count with that pitch. Usually that's a swing through strike every single time for Clippard.
He goes changeup and got a pop-up, but it's out of play. 3-2 pitch there.
He's still on it, though. Did you see how he extended his one hand through that? He's telling himself, I was close to putting that in play for a knock.
Phillips, one of the Reds' few bright spots in the division series last year.
No stride right there. Hard to fool a guy with no stride on a changeup. I'd be surprised if he doesn't go back to the fastball right here.
3-2 pitch. He represents the tying run. And Clippard strikes him out on a well-placed fastball up and away. 7th inning stretch time for a nice crowd, and they're happy about this one. Great pitch, FP.
Good location. Saw he was on the changeup, switched to fastball, and threw it by him.
So the Reds settle for 1 in the 7th on a beautiful night in Washington. The monument in the distance and the World War II memorial. If you love nighttime drama, you must visit. It's very haunting. Navy Federal Credit Union. A loan from Navy Federal Credit Union makes car buying easy. Visit NavyFederal.org to calculate your payment. Magnificent evening in Washington, D.C. on this August 16th. We honor our military and our fallen heroes tonight. And tomorrow night, Game 2, Johnny Cueto, 8-5, with a stingy 1.94 ERA. Coming off a good outing against Florida. And there's Ross Detweiler, taking care of left-handers pretty well so far, and he's 1-2 with a 3.20. Detweiler for the Nats tomorrow night makes his 4th start in his 9th appearance. Johnny and Ray, Nats Extra, 6:30. FP and I join you from the booth at 7. And then first pitch from Ross Detweiler, the lefty from Missouri, at 7:05. Paul Janisch, after pinch running for Edgar Renteria, will stay in and play shortstop. And the Reds will have a new pitcher, Jose Arredondo. Ten appearances since coming off the disabled list. Had a strained right forearm, and he's been back since July 22nd. Second time he's been on the DL for the Reds this year.
And fastball, slider split. Fastball average about 94 miles an hour.
Arredondo, 27 years of age, from San Pedro de Macorís. Spent a couple of years with the Angels. In fact, a lot of appearances. 95 of them, 08-09, before he was injured, did not pitch at all last year. For the Nats, bottom of the 7, top of the order, Ankiel, Espinoza, and Zimmerman.
You saw the numbers on Arredondo. If I'm Rick Ankiel, I am making him throw strikes. 24 walks in 34 innings. 34 2/3.
Rick Ankiel has been on base twice tonight. 1 for 3 with a bloop single reached on the Votto error that led a run home, and a big run home a couple of innings ago. Phillips popping that ball from his mitt right into his hand. Then a nifty pickup by Votto for the out. Nats only given 1 walk tonight, but for every 1 they get, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington, D.C. For the year, over $18,000. Take that first step towards a healthy and active lifestyle. Here's Danny Espinoza, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Danger next if you're a Cincinnati Reds observer. The way Ryan Zimmerman's swinging the bat. And Espinoza fouls one away, 1-2. That 3-4 thing has really turned into a pick your poison sequence for opposing teams.
And they're both swinging the bat so well, and I think it's all because of A, confidence, and B, their mechanics are just perfect. And keeping their heads still, slowing the game down. Both of those guys are in the zone. And it's funny as a hitter. You go through streaks during the season where you can slow the game down for a certain amount of time to where 95 looks like 85, and there's also times in the season when you're struggling and 85 looks like 105. I think for the good hitters like Zimmerman and Morse, they're able to slow the game down on a nightly basis. It's not just a streak thing where they have it for 2 or 3 weeks. They have it all season long.
1-2 to Danny Espinoza. And he swings through that one, diving down and away, 2 outs. Let's check out some home run swings by the big guys.
You see the similarities in the swings. The one thing I see that's the same is check out the head. Perfectly still. You could draw a pole right down through here. Their head's not moving forward. They're swinging around their heads. You see that? Bam. Staying right around their heads. Look at their heads down on contact. Look at Zim checking out the baseball right there. His head's probably a little bit better than Morse, but they're both pretty good. Look at Morse staying on his backside, staying through the baseball.
Interesting, those were similar approaches to different pitches. Zimmerman's was more up and in, Morse down and away.
That was about the 20-second version of me breaking down that swing. I would love to do it for about 5 minutes and just start talking hitting. Just sit here and go frame by frame. You see that on ESPN. The football guys do that all the time. I would love to just sit up here and break down both of those swings for a good 15, 20 minutes. And there's so many good things going on with those swings. And you know, if you're Zimmerman or Morse, those are the swings you watch. No need to watch the bad swings. Watch the good swings. Try to replicate that. Put good mental images in your head. You want to see success.
Zimmerman pulling that one to the shortstop, and that's Giannis. And this ball game is into the 8th inning. Nats and the Reds each have 7 hits. Washington leads 6-4. Reds 4. They're celebrating down there at Potomac. They're still the defending Carolina League champs. Dropped by Fitzner Stadium Woodbridge like some folks did last Friday night. 703-590-2311, PotomacNationals.com. They got to see Steven Strasburg in their ballpark on Friday night, wearing that P-Nats cap.
Check out the guns. When you talk to everybody that's seen him play, they talk about what great shape he's in. Not so much bulked up, but chiseled. I think the one thing he's learned being down there in Vieira for so long is probably a different workout routine, a different work ethic, and now he knows what it takes to pitch a 162-game season and to be in that kind of shape for 30-plus starts.
Yep, at its highest level, that is certainly different than anything else these kids have been through. It'll be Bruce, Hernandez, and Alonso. 5-7 for the Reds in the 8th. That ball hit really hard, hooking right field corner. Jay Bruce, 2 RBIs tonight, a base hit and 3 trips. Kid has 80 ribbies now. Former National Bill Bray, part of that deal back in '06. And the 1-2 delivery. Clippard up left side, playable. Ryan Zimmerman. 5 outs to go, and 2 of them for Clippard. And before we get much deeper into the evening, FP and I and all of our mass and crew, our stage manager Joe Delpo, who have known Chris Glass for so many years, our executive producer, we just want to pass along our condolences to Chris on the loss of his mom yesterday. After a couple of weeks following a heart attack, it's been a tough time for the family, and we hope they find peace during this time. And we just want to send our special prayers, thoughts, and wishes to Chris and his family.
Hang in there, man. We're thinking about you.
Look forward to having Chris back on the job as soon as he decides it's time. Fastball upstairs to Ramon Hernandez here in the 8th inning. And Clippard goes 2-0, so he has 3 outs in a row against, listen to these hitters, Votto, Phillips, and Bruce. And nobody got the ball out of the infield, and only one of them hit it fair. So that's how good Tyler Clippard is these days. He is a second-half all-star, just like he was before the break, earning that trip to Phoenix. He's getting better.
He is. Look at that changeup right there. 81 miles an hour off a mid-90s fastball. That'll lock you up every single time. 2-0 combio right down the middle.
Yonder Alonso next. Cincinnati's road record this year, 25-32. The Nats at home are 32-23. We've got a pretty good game flow going thanks to the pitching staff here. And we invite you to join it with Hankook Tires. Be one with it. Hankook Tires. Target in. He jams him. Not enough. That ball is crushed to left, but Nix is going to find some room. 2 outs. Anxious moment for a couple of seconds there, with the Nats ahead by 2.
Because of the little thought of changeup in the back of Ramon Hernandez's head, that ball beat him just enough to keep it in the park. So he went to the fastball with 2 strikes, and it just beats him enough to keep the ball in the park.
Yeah.
You look how deep he got that back in his stance. He catches that more out in front, it's gone. But just the thought of off speed in the back of your head will let that fastball travel just enough to get you.
And the pitch track brought to you by Verizon, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. Now Clippard's ahead of Yonder Alonso. And a drive to left. Desmond, he got there, glances off his glove. Part of the bat is stuck in the ground like a spear down toward first base. And Alonso's aboard for the 2nd time tonight.
I mean, that's pretty much the only way we've seen guys get hit off Tyler Clippard lately. Good effort by Desmond. Had a beat on it. But when you're running for a ball like that and you're so urgent in your effort to catch the baseball, what happens is your head starts to bobble a little bit. The ball starts to bounce as you go for it, and it's tough to catch. I was trying to get a bobblehead segue in there with Desmond. It just didn't work. His bobblehead's coming up on Saturday.
Well, as we say at the end of every telecast, nice try.
Yeah, well, nobody can do it like you. But his head was bobbling right there. When you go for a ball like that, your head bouncing all over the place. It looks like the ball's bounced all over the place. And you saw he was there in time. He just couldn't get it. So enough of the segues. That's your department, partner.
That's okay. That was a very valiant attempt. That's the breaking ball. It causes a problem for Ramos. That's Dave Sapelt, young outfielder for the Reds. They're looking at some young guys this year with all the injury problems they've had. One ball, 1 strike. Cincinnati 8 hits tonight, Nats 7. Moore's playing behind the runner. And Todd Frazier fouls one away. He's 0 for 3 tonight. You may hear a groundswell of crowd now with this 2-out, 2-strike count. 23,888 here tonight. Good crowd for a return home Tuesday night. Fastball upstairs, 2-2. Had him reaching. Great pitch. Little pop-up on the infield. Michael Morse has it. And Tyler Clippard gets those 5 outs the Nationals dearly needed. Now provided by Cox, and check them out at Cox.com today. 6-4 Nats lead. Zimmerman and Morse coming up big, and as usual, Joey Votto for the Reds. So the big guns in the middle of both lineups doing some damage tonight.
Yeah, the Beast has been back at home with authority. First time up, a double the other way. Got it over the head of Jay Bruce and right, and how about this one? Taking a pretty good pitch. That wasn't a bad slider down the way. He let it get deep. He let it travel. Oppo Taco for Morse. 2 for 3, a double, a home run. Stay hot, Michael Morse.
And the Reds have some changes now. Dave Sappelt will play in left field and bat 9, so their pitcher is batting in the number 7 spot. And that'll be the former Nat Billy Bray, who appeared in 19 games for the 06 Nationals with a 1-1 record, 3.91 ERA. A finesse lefty who's been up and down between Cincinnati and the minor leagues over the last 4 years.
And fastball slider change from Bray. And fastball go about 91 miles an hour. This is a pretty deceptive motion by Bray on that first pitch. A little herk and a little jerk to his windup. I'll throw you off as a hitter every time. You get a guy that's real slow, and all of a sudden he comes at you fast like that. That's tough.
Morris to the left side, scooped by Todd Frazier. First out, 8th inning. And we don't need to tell you who's getting ready in the bullpen, do we? There he is. 31 saves for Drew Storen. Next up, Jason Worth 0 for 2 with a walk, and then Lance Nix here in the 8th. The Nats could go for a little right-handed pinch hitting and defense if they so chose. Next, well, it's going to, yeah, Johnny Gomes, not Nix. Probably getting a little bit of stick from the Cincinnati dugout, I would think.
He was over there before the game catching up with his old buddies.
Good swing by Worth, and it's off to the right side.
You know, we used to tell guys that did that and see them over with their old teammates chatting it up before the game. We'd yell, if they wanted you, they would have kept you.
Well, we're glad to have him. And when I had a chance to chat with Walt Jocketty today, the Reds GM, first two guys he asked me about. First was Rick Ankiel, who Walt had in St. Louis. Kind of intrigued by when I told him how well Rick was playing center field for the Nats. And then, of course, came Johnny Gomes, a delightful guy for any ball club to have in that clubhouse. Busted bat. But Walt Jocketty oversaw the pitching career of Rick Ankiel in St. Louis before converting to the outfield. And then made the deal with Mike Rizzo a couple of days before the trading deadline to bring Johnny Gomes over here.
I'll tell you one thing about this at bat with Johnny Gomes coming up. He will not get cheated. You face your old team and your old teammates, and one thing you're going to do off the bench is swing as hard as you can.
Worth with a drive heading to right, and it will be dropped at the scoreboard by Jay Bruce. And Jason Worth is into second base.
I've been in Jason Worth's shoes before where I've had that year-long scuffle where you're just waiting to break out of it. And when you hit balls like this, you know what you're thinking, run to first? He's going to catch this. I mean, that's just the way it's been all season. You hit a ball hard, somebody catches it, you finally square one up, and you think they're going to make a great play. So Jason Worth's run to first thinking, oh, he's got this. Just off the top of Bruce's glove. And that was Worth to cruise into second with a double. Pretty good at bat. That ball was hit. That's probably what he's saying right now. You know what? I swear he was going to catch that ball, Ed.
I just have to think, FP, that it is tougher for outfielders going for balls up against that scoreboard with that fence in front of it than it is other parts of the ballpark. You know, visually, the lights, and, you know, there's no padding back there. It just seems to me more balls are misplayed up against the scoreboard than anywhere else.
I don't know if padding has anything to do with it. And if you're looking that way toward the ball to where the lights are affecting you, you're definitely looking the wrong way. But the chain link fence part would scare me. Running into that would be like running into a cheese grater.
Yeah. It just seems to be a tougher play than it does in other parts of the outfield. A lot of guys get their gloves on the ball out there, but a lot of them don't finish off the play.
Well, that's also a long ways away from home plate.
Sure is.
I mean, if you're running for a baseball that far away, you're probably in panic mode, trying to make a great play.
That would be a wonderful run for the Nats to pick up and get that 3-run lead back for Drew Storen. Johnny Gomes with a liner to center, and coming to get it is Stubbs for the second out.
It's time for our Morgan Franklin pivotal play. Let's make it Ian Desmond. And back in the first inning, comes up. Lance Nick struck out with the bases loaded. Good teams pick each other up. And that's exactly what Ian Desmond did. 2 out hits are golden. Desmond comes through with a couple of RBIs. Pivotal plays happen in sports, and they happen in business and government too. See who's making them at pivotalplays.com.
Well, it's up to Ian Desmond again. He's had 1 2-out RBI hit tonight. And hits this one to right. It'll hang up for Jay Bruce, and this thing is flying into the 9th inning. For the Reds, Seppelt in the 9 hole, and then the top of the order against Drew Storen. the series with the Reds leading 6-4. The board shows you that Drew Storen's on the mound. Tonight's copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Big night for Ryan Zimmerman with a base hit and the home run. And let's have a look at our fourth drive of the game.
Go back to the fifth inning, and this one was loud and far. He knew as soon as he got it, check out the boys in the dugout, tell them I told you I was going with that again. And that's our fourth drive of the game. Yeah, he must have told Pudge. You see Pudge right there on the top step, the first one to greet him. Usually the guy that greets you first is the guy you told. You don't generally make a big announcement like, I'm going deep, everybody. You tell one guy, if he throws me that pitch again, I got him.
Well, who would know about that better as far as repeating pitches and the danger involved than Pudge Rodriguez? Putting down all those digits, as you say, over the years. So here we go to the ninth with Bixler in left. He's batting ninth on a double switch. And then Drew Storen is looking at the leadoff man, Dave Sapelt, 24-year-old rookie from Buffalo who went to Coastal Carolina. Ninth round draft pick 3 years ago. And as a big league hitter this year, 7 for 30, still hunting his first major league RBI. 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter. He was mainly a speed burner type player in the minor leagues with 78 stolen bases.
And along with the theme of tonight this morning, he visited our troops at the National Naval Medical Center.
Good for him.
Absolutely.
Stubbs and Yanish to follow. Here in the ninth. Reds need to get one man on base without a double play. Get this inning to Joey Votto. Storen has the rookie 0-2. Killer slider, strike 3. He went around. First out in the ninth.
The slider's been good recently from Drew Storen. He had the big strikeout the other night in Philadelphia of Ryan Howard with this pitch. Same exact pitch, same exact location, and if you haven't seen it before, and that's the beauty of hiding that till you get to 2 strikes. If you show it early in the count, it's advantage hitter because he's seen the rotation, he's seen the release point, but when you get 2 strikes with the fastball, then you go to it, no shot.
Top of the order, and now Stubbs couldn't stop his swing.
I think that's the beauty of the 2-run save and the 3-run save with Drew Storen, is that he can go ahead and throw a first pitch fastball, doesn't have to worry about the ambush home run. Get a couple of strikes with the heater, then go to the slider.
That's a nasty hook right there.
It's as good as it's been all year.
You're right. Ross Detweiler and Johnny Cueto same time tomorrow night. This is the last team in the league the Nationals had not played this year until tonight. It took till August 16th to see the Cincinnati Reds. And the 0-2 with the target outside. Tries to paint with a fastball, and evidently that was just outside the frame.
Alfonso Marquez is a great plate umpire, one of the better ones in the league, and I think he gave up on this 2-seamer.
Wow, that came back.
Came back a lot. He didn't expect it, and it locked him up.
Oh, another slider, a very defensive swing.
That's another thing Drew Storen has added to his repertoire. He goes 4-seam fastball early in the count and then breaks out the backdoor 2-seamer with 2 strikes. He did that to Troy Tulowitzki in Colorado. Didn't show him a 2-seamer until it was too late.
That is nasty. 2 outs. unhittable.
Nasty, dirty, rotten, filthy, unhittable. No shot. He's getting it out in front. He's on top of it. At times he'll get a little overexcited and get around that slider on top of it. Downhill all the way. That pitch is as good as I've ever seen it.
Crowd excited. Paul Janisch, the hitter. He's got to get on base for the Reds to get Joey Votto to the plate somehow. That's a fastball, strike two. She knows save number 32 is there for the taking. And that ball into left. Here comes Bixler. Game over. That's why you put guys out there for defense. And Drew Storen saves it for the Nats. Chin-Ming Wong gets another win.
Huge play by Brian Bixler to end that game. Joey Votto on deck would have represented a tie-in run. So you come into a big league game, the ball will find you. And that is a huge play in this one. And Drew Storen going to be out there to give him a high five.
2 strikeouts by Storen. The Nats have won 5 of their last 6 at home. And the homestand in this series off to a great start.